Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Might be a little fun one today. So, starting off, we have a pretty broad trough currently across a good portion of the country, but we do also have a ridge over parts of the western United States, California, Nevada, Arizona, so on. They're probably having some nice peaceful weather, and the little break we've had from the precipitation will not be lasting long. As we head, excuse me, into the evening tonight, through the day or into the morning tomorrow, we can see a little shortwave trough starting to take form right along this axis just to our northwest, and it will move down into our area. We have some spreading apart of the height lines. In fact, we've had that for a while, and that will continue pretty much through the morning tomorrow, the afternoon tomorrow, and into the evening as that trough finally starts to move out. But right behind it, we see another little kink right here, and as we head into Friday morning, we find ourselves sort of in the left exit region of this jet streak here. So that would also provide some rising motion. So the theme of tomorrow, tomorrow night, and into Friday is going to be that we are going to have some large scale ascent, meaning we could be getting some precipitation. Heading down to the 850 millibar level, we again really see this low pressure system associated with that first trough that's going to be moving through our area. It's a bit more intense than the 500 millibar chart would have led on to, but especially here as we head into tomorrow morning, we are going to start to feel the impacts as this system begins to approach and moves through as we head into tomorrow night. Excuse me. So again, that is kind of confirming that we are definitely going to have some disturbed weather, perhaps. And now let's go all the way down to the surface and see what that looks like. Of course, it's going to take a minute to load. Finally, we've got this loaded in now. Again, we can really see that low pressure system take hold. It really, I mean, it's there to begin with now, but you can really start to see it as we head into the evening. And as we head into tomorrow morning, that thing will start to approach. And we do, looking at the winds just along the eastern side of it, those winds do appear to be southerly, so the winds moving from the south to the north should be bringing up some warmer temperatures as this system approaches. And then, of course, it appears that behind this, there is a nice burst of cold air with a high pressure system just below the low pressure system. And it looks like this low pressure system, while it advances initially pretty quick, is looking like it's going to stall out, or at least slow down significantly as it approaches our area. Yes, see, it moves across from here to there pretty quickly through the day tomorrow, but then it kind of stalls out tomorrow evening, late afternoon and evening, and it takes pretty much the whole night just to move across the lake, pretty much. Well, realistically, the center of the low pressure system is farther to the north, but I was just looking at the little kink here. Yeah, it's definitely going to take its time. So that could be some prolonged precipitation, but it can also give a little bit more time for these warmer temperatures to start to reach into the area before the cold blast blasts us again. So could be a little bit of a trade-off there, but I do think that that will mean we will have some more prolonged precipitation. But a little enough yapping about the synoptics and the uh, upper air lifting and forcing. What are these temperatures actually going to look like? Well, today it looks like we may warm into the 20s. We may get around 20, maybe 20, 21 degrees. But then it is going to get a bit chilly again tonight and especially into tomorrow morning. It looks like this time frame, which is I believe around 3 a.m., is going to be the coldest. We should be just around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Then as we head into tomorrow afternoon, it should get a little bit warmer than today. We are still only going to be in the low 20s, but instead of being like right at 20, we're probably going to be closer to 22, 23, maybe even getting into those mid 20s. Tomorrow night, though, it really doesn't get that much colder at all. In fact, if anything, it starts to get a little bit warmer with those southerly winds bringing up some more warmer air. And by Friday morning, we are actually warmer than at any point Thursday. 7 a.m. here, we are looking like we are going to be in the upper 20s with some 30s along the lakeshore here. So, with some of these southerly winds bringing warmer air up, or at least in this case, they're more southwesterly, and that does appear to be where the warmer air is. Southwesterly winds bringing some of that warm air in, and with the sun rising, I imagine that Friday we could get some pretty warm temperatures before the uh, cold ruins everything, as it always does. If you can't tell, I don't like the cold. But it could be some of the warmest temperatures we've seen in a long time. And by that, I mean possibly above freezing. It's been like, what, a month? I'm tired of the cold. This is like a heat wave to me. Now let's take a look at the kind of precipitation we're actually expecting. Through today and tonight, none. But of course, as we head into Thursday, we do see some wintry precipitation move into the area. This doesn't really show a whole lot, although we do see some more heading into Friday. But again, keep in mind that this does lose some detail because it is an ensemble model. And so some of the lighter, more broad stuff gets lost in the sauce, if you will. And do notice that this shows mostly snow. However, it may not be quite that simple. We're going to take a look at one of the forecast models here, and we're looking at 850 millibar temperatures. So we're looking at temperatures a little bit above the surface. The line between green and blue here marks the freezing line, and you'll notice that at some point around 7 a.m. At some point on Friday, the above freezing line gets pretty close to our area, and it could even be a little bit warmer slightly above this layer as well, mainly because of that approaching warm front associated with the low pressure system. And what that could do is cause a little warm nose that could allow falling precipitation to melt before it reaches the ground. And then since the surface temperatures, at least at this point, I believe, are still supposed to be below freezing, yes, because it is around 7 a.m., and while it was getting close to freezing, it wasn't quite there. So this means it could be a little bit warmer aloft, and so that precipitation might then freeze as it hits the ground, or as it hits the ground. Refreeze. I mean, I don't know. It might refreeze as it hits the ground, not freeze as it re-hits. That doesn't make sense. What I'm trying to say is that if there is enough moisture at this time, let's go back to the href here, which is kind of a question. Well, not entirely a question, but if there's enough moisture, and let's even go back a little bit, still too cold then, but if there's enough moisture, which it seems like there might be, we could, I need to organize my tabs better, I swear, we could see some freezing precipitation mixed in here. Or some freezing rain, I mean, so it might not be entirely snow. Now let's actually take a look at these individual member models instead of just the ensemble to take a look at when the precipitation should be and exactly how heavy. So it looks like there's a chance for some light precipitation tomorrow. This is about noon actually, so late morning into the afternoon. There should be some light precipitation across the area, maybe some splotches of some heavier precipitation. This precipitation is still likely to be snow. Then things calm down a bit. We still have some scattered showers as we head into the overnight, some scattered snow showers here or there. though it looks like it should be heavier off to our north. But the real stuff, or the main stuff, heavy stuff, comes in Friday morning. Oops. And there could certainly be some heavier portions here. Again, some of this may be snow, some of it may be more of a freezing rain mix. But I think the majority of it will be snow. If we look at some of the other members, yep, still shows pretty similar things. Some scattered showers, some may be a little heavier than others as we head into late tomorrow morning, although this is a little bit earlier in the day. This is more like 9 a.m. And some of those kind of persistent and hanging around. Got that clearing, some lake effect building, or at least lake enhanced snow building in the overnight hours. Some stuff starts to come in a little bit early as we head into the morning. And then it's main Friday morning, 7 a.m. here, where the main, or the focal, the major precipitation really starts to come in. I didn't want to call it major because it's still not going to be a ton of snow, but the majority of the precipitation, I should say. And it looks like this model here is a little more aggressive for tomorrow's precipitation and not quite as aggressive on Fridays. This model is kind of the same thing. It's a little more aggressive on tomorrow and not so aggressive on Friday. And this one looks like it's higher detail. So you see a lot of, excuse me, broad snow with some heavier regions tomorrow, then some heavier. This one's showing a lot of snow for most of tomorrow. And even into the overnight, pretty constant, although some of it is rather light. May not even really be all that noticeable. But then you see, again, as we head into Friday morning, an even bigger core here starting to come down towards our area. So it does seem kind of up in the air at the moment, whether or not the worst of the precipitation is going to be tomorrow or Friday. But either way, it looks like we are in for a precipitous period. I don't know if that's a word, but if it isn't, it is now. And most of this should be snow, but some of it, particularly on Friday, could be mixed in with some freezing rain. And by Friday, I really mean more of Thursday night, because most of what's listed on Friday here is actually Thursday night, so it gets a little confusing. But I basically mean Thursday night into Friday is when I think the best chance for that is. Of course, tomorrow, definitely a chance for some precipitation as well. How much precipitation, you might be asking? Again, not a ton. The official forecast is just for 1 to 2 inches across the Lansing area here through the whole period. This is both tomorrow and Friday's precipitation. The low end amount has us at 1 inch, so at least we should expect that low end of 1 inch, and the high end has us up to 3 inches. So while we're only expecting 1 to 2, it is in the realm of possibility that we get up to 3, though we should definitely expect at least 1 inch. Now, how about ice? Well, it doesn't look like we're expecting really any major ice accumulation, so any ice we do get, if we get any, is just going to be a light glaze. Now let's talk about wind. Calm today and tonight, calm through tomorrow morning, but as we head into the late morning and into the afternoon, it does pick up a little bit. Looking at 10-15 mile an hour sustained here, and that pretty much hangs around for the rest of the period, although it does calm down a little bit as we head into Friday morning. Taking a look at our wind gusts. Again, pretty calm today, in this evening and into the overnight. As we head into tomorrow morning, those wind gusts do pick up. We're looking kind of around 15 to 20 miles per hour in the morning, and as we head into the afternoon and into the evening, we pick up maybe getting close to 25 miles per hour gusts. But the gusts do die down a little bit as we head into Friday morning, though it looks like there are some pretty strong gusts off in Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula, and so on. and those could potentially make their way down towards our area as the colder air and of course the associated cold front eventually does move down towards our region. Now I would show you the cloud cover map. Oh, it loaded. I guess I am going to show you it then. Just a minute ago it was refusing to load for some reason, so I thought I was going to have to leave it out today. Never mind. Not a surprise though that today we could see some gaps in the clouds. But as we head into tomorrow morning, it gets cloudy. And it's cloudy through all tomorrow, and it's cloudy overnight and into Friday morning. Not a surprise. Precipitation. Who could have guessed, you know? Anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Stay safe if you're driving out on those roads during the precipitation. I know it's only an inch or two of snow and maybe a light glaze of ice, but it doesn't take much to make some roads not great, especially if they haven't been plowed. So just be mindful of that and have a great day. See you tomorrow.